Okay, here we go with the next video in the series with regards to the ICASA online system. So, in the last video, what I did is I showed you basically the difference between the new license and let me go and share that screen again quickly. We'll just do a very quick recap on it. I showed you the difference between the new license, which is the license you see before you, where in the top left-hand corner you can see the QR code has actually been printed, whereas the old license, which is now known as the legacy license, does not have the QR code, and the license number is a different. If you take a look at the license number just below the issued in terms of on this license, it differs from the new license, which is, you can see, is a totally different layout. So the question now is, are you on the ICASA website? Well, to be quite honest with you, I must admit that one I genuinely can't answer at this stage, because it's something somebody mentioned on air 2 weeks ago, where it was stated that certain amateurs from 2019, 2020 are actually managed by SAL. So whether or not SAL has created the user account or not, I don't know. So we need to just be careful on that. And if that does come up to be the case, then my recommendation to you is you will have to notify SAL that you need to create your own entity in its entirety. So I'm going to go back to sharing of the screen, and we're going to kick off and have a look at the very first part of what is required. So our website that we need to work on is online, and of course, if you type it in, it should by default go to the secure website, which is https://online.icasa.org.za. Right, at this particular moment in time, it's actually a very good question as to whether or not other browsers are going to be able to operate this website. I see that some people have in actual fact posted comments that they are getting messages that Chrome is required. Now, whether Firefox, Mozilla, Chrome, IE, or Edge are going to become problematic, to be quite honest with you, again, I think somebody needs to, well, I shouldn't say that. I think we need to actually have a look to see what actually happens. Yep, there we go. I've just opened this up very quickly on, and I don't want to share the entire screen. I've just opened this up on Internet Explorer, and it says that you definitely need Chrome. So it's down to personal preferences as to the browsers that you use, and ultimately at the end of the day, where I was dead set against Chrome for many, many years as a Microsoft certified system engineer in the last three, following all the changes, etc., that have been made. To be quite honest with you, I'm finding Chrome is a far better internet browser. It's giving less problems than Edge and IE, and of course IE has reached end of life, and just about everybody's going over to Edge. What I would suggest you do, or maybe perhaps what I could recommend, is if you do install Chrome, specifically until such time as you do get your license onto the new system and details onto the new system, then perhaps you can in actual fact uninstall it. However, come the following year, you might have to install Chrome again to overcome some of those issues. Unless, of course, and to be quite honest, I don't think that this will happen, the browser might not be developed in such a way that it will work with Edge and IE and all the rest of it. So, guys, we need to bear that one in mind. However, if you have got your Chrome going, if anybody is operating Firefox, perhaps you could, and I can always edit it and bring it into the video at a later stage. If somebody's got Edge, or actually I'll do an Edge test shortly, Firefox, Mozilla, Safari, or otherwise, perhaps you can just send me a screenshot, and we can have a look at what it looks like, and then maybe put it in on the next video. All right, so enough of the possible problems. While I quickly go to Edge, I just need to pause the video for a second. Okay, so basically what I've done now quickly is, you know, again, I'm just annoyed with the fact that everybody's sitting waiting for everybody else. And that being said, that it makes it a little bit difficult for me because I don't have Firefox or Safari installed anywhere on my systems. I don't run Linux. So if there is a Linux user out there with, or even a Windows user with Safari, Mozilla, Firefox, whatever the case might be, just let me know if it does work. What I've done is I've actually just logged on using the Edge. Edge is the new browser which is available on Windows 7 and up. So Windows 7, Vista, and of course Windows 8 and Windows 10. Those that still have Internet Explorer installed, you guys should actually have updated to Edge, and Edge has actually allowed me to log on without any problems. So I just wanted to show you that so that you can see Edge does in actual fact work. So don't be afraid of trying it out. Okay, so let's move on with this video. Now, the first part of the process is, one, to create an online presence. In other words, it is only there to allow you to log on to the online Spectrum license and type approval application profiles or portal. Okay, so I think at this point, don't get too concerned as to where we are, but understand it is only the first step. In other words, it is like saying, let me get my security sticker at the gate to Macro so that I can take my car inside. Because the second step is to actually apply for your Macro card. So let's not confuse the two steps. This step, this video, will cover just creating of the online presence and nothing else. So what we do is we go to online.icasa.org.za and we click on the register button. Now guys, if you have already registered, this will throw out an error and tell you that you are there. I'm not going to attempt it. So if you have already got a profile, then it might be an idea for you to go back, and unfortunately what we then need to do is we need to contact ICASA, and I'm sure that there is another email address that you will have to send Spectrum license queries, renewals, invoices, license, right. So you will probably have to send an email to speclicensing@icasa.org.za. Tell them that you are attempting to actually create your logon, only your logon at this stage, by registering. So we will start and create with Carl. You must have a valid, well, let's put Carl in on this one. Okay, so I said we're going to use this address. You must have a valid email address, and then of course you also need to supply a password. Now guys, the password requirement, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and force an error here. I'm not too sure if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, but if I'm not mistaken, right, there we go. So the password and confirmation passwords do not match. So we need to make sure that both of our passwords are correct. It must be at least 10 characters long. Aha, that's a catch-22. The password should have one numeral and one special character. Now, I've noticed that some of the special characters might in actual fact not be identified. So when you're looking at your special characters, that's all your special characters on the top line of your number keys on your keyboard. So exclamation mark all the way through to the plus sign. I genuinely don't like to use the plus sign anyway, because the plus and minus sign start playing with other bits and pieces. So be a little bit careful with the number or the special characters that you try, and of course make sure that you are at least 10 characters long. Okay, so now that I've established which password we're going to use for this account, I'm going to type it in and we will click register. So just to recap, your special characters, exclamation, ampersand sign, hash, at sign, percentage sign, caret, asterisk, left open bracket, right open bracket. You guys are going to have to play with those characters to see which ones in actual fact are accepted. I'm not going to sit here and do that, unfortunately. Also, please remember that if you are going to use the keys at the top of the keypad, don't forget to press shift, but be careful that you in actual fact don't play around with this case sensitivity on your password, and then you're not going to be able to log on again. Okay, so let's see. This is the first step to register an account. That's all. It's a log-on online account. That is it. There's nothing else to it. You can't really do anything with it except log on. So let's hit the register button, and then I'll wait, and there we go. It now wants us to save it, in which case I'm going to say save. It's up to you as to whether you save it or not. And then, of course, we are informed that we need to check our email, because we should have received confirmation of the email account. So I now need to just see if we have got that email as yet. Let me just pause the recording. All right, so I've just waited for the email to come through. Just to recap, all we've done is we've registered for the online presence, or as they call it, your account, before you can log on. And definitely they do state this, and you guys must be aware of it. Especially if you're using Gmail accounts, make sure that it doesn't end up in your spam folders. Or be careful with Gmail. Gmail can in actual fact have alternate spam filters like junk mail or junk. So what I normally suggest people do is log on to Gmail using a web browser and have a look and see under more folders what the other folders are. You might find your ICASA email there. Okay, so what does this email now actually look like? This is now where we move on. I will leave that screen open for the time being, and I want to pull up the email that's come in. And as you can see, it is coming from no reply at ICASA, and it is giving us an instruction to confirm the account. And again, my images are not all the images ultimately displayed, and they want you to click here to, in actual fact, confirm that this is your email address. So there we go. It now tells me that the confirm email has gone through, and they are so polite in thanking us for confirming it, and it says you can now click here to log on. So what I'm going to do is just remove the email from the process at this point, and we will, as you can see, it's opened up that second tab. That's where we did the register. So that window is now completed. What you will do is, in actual fact, please click here to log in, and it'll take you to the main screen. Because I said save the username and password, it is here, and we've got that option to remember me. And because of the fact I've got multiple accounts, I personally don't remember me. Look, I don't know who I am most of the time, and I think many of you can vouch for that one. But anyway, I don't remember me. Hopefully you do. And if you click remember me, every time you go to online.icasa.org.za, it should log you on automatically. And as you can see, this is now called your Sky Manager account. At least it's not working in the cloud. I've always maintained if you want to work in the cloud, expect rainstorms and thunderstorms. Right, so now that we are at this point, I'm going to stop this video so that I can save it, and we will move on to the next step of the video. But I think actually just before we do, let's just log in and I'll show you what the main screen looks like. So there we go. You can see who you are logged on as. There is a notification indicator here that if ICASA, I've never seen it work, but if ICASA sends you a notification, you should get it. There's a contact us page, the My ICASA account, but I will cover that one in more detail later. And for those of us that are accustomed to the, let me take off the screen sharing now for a minute. For those of us that are accustomed to the old homepage button, in this case it just says ICASA Online, and it will take you to the screen that you have just seen. Right, so let's end this video and we'll pick up on the next one.